First and foremost, obviously, from our perspective, the disappointing thing with Tuesday's cancellation was not being able to get a couple back from suspension, so they unfortunately have to miss this Saturday. And to be honest, I was gutted really for the four guys, Andy, Scotty, Peter and Dean, that did their sponsored walk to Harpenden to get there and find there was no game of football on. So obviously gutted for them. I think everything about those guys epitomises the support that this football club has from so many wonderful people. So hopefully when the rearrangement finally kicks in, they'll be able to travel in another form and get themselves 3 points in front of those guys. So credit to them, a big thank you to them for their continued efforts and the charities that they continue to raise money for. It's an absolute credit to those guys. But obviously back to the football side of things, one of the big problems that we're having at the moment is we've just had a spate of bad luck really, where we just seem to be getting injuries to people in similar positions, some illnesses, various other bits like work, and we are actively looking to now recruit. We've got 2 7-dayers in for excellent players at this level that we're very excited about. So we've got to wait for those 7 days to lapse, and then we can talk to those players and try to convince them that Dunstable Town is the way for them to go. And we have got eyes on a third one as well, because I'm not going to mess around. And the group need to understand, as a group, we've got far too many draws at the moment, and it's a message I'll keep getting to the boys this evening in training. Is I think this group's fantastic. The nicest compliment I could give this group of players is I've got 2 daughters and a third on the way, and if these were the kind of lads that brought my daughters home, I'd be delighted. But ultimately, my job is to win football matches, and we've got to start showing a little bit more ruthlessness. We've got to start controlling games better, and we're dropping too many points through our own doing. So whether that's illness, whether it's suspension, whether it's injuries, whether it's work commitments, whatever it is, players need to understand that there's competition all the time and the levels go up. And this time, 13 months ago, trying to get anybody into this football club was hard work. But 13 months on now, my phone probably goes off about 20 times a day with players that are desperate to be a part of this. And that's a credit to everybody with the football club. It's a credit to the crowds that are growing. The wonderful work the media team does, the fantastic work of the podcasts. So we have become a little bit more of an attractive proposition. And what we are getting now is as I said, we're looking at areas that we feel we need to strengthen. Like I said, we're not looking to actively move players out, but what I am looking to do is keep people on their toes. And we've got, as I said to you before, we've got to make sure that when we have a stretched group, that we're, rather than drawing games, we've got to start winning them. So that's the message that I'm getting out to the players tonight. As I said, I don't hide from things. We're not going to start making wholesale changes in terms of the squad, but if there's good additions and we feel that they're better than what we currently have at the moment, look, we'll bring those players in. That's not a problem. So excited on the squad front. This week will probably come a little bit too soon for Dylan Baker. We will have Alfie Osborne back. We'll have Luke Dunstan back, which is great news for us. Obviously, Kyle and Liam both miss out in terms of suspension, but then we've got Carl Davison-Gordon, hopefully gets his support off or his cast off in the next week or so, so we're hopeful to have him back in a couple of weeks. Terence is still a long-term one, which is obviously a bit of a disappointment. It's a killer for us really, but we wish him well. We'll obviously be there to support him throughout the journey. We're back in hospital with him on Tuesday to get a further scan, which hopefully isn't anything too serious. But from our perspective, the key for us is making sure that we don't stand still. We sit 6th in the league at the moment. We've got a long way to go, and whilst we're the only undefeated team in the league this season, we are dropping too many points, and getting these draws. So things are going to change. We will be actively recruiting better players in certain areas of the pitch, and now we're going to see the challenge now for the players is to say, can they step up now and show why they should be here? Or are we going to, are they going to fall further down the pecking order? So, looking forward to it. Looking forward to hopefully getting these 7 days once they lapse to start negotiations with these players and hopefully bring some real quality into the group. Really tough game on Saturday. Full credit to their manager Brett. He's done a fantastic job there. They got promotion last year, rightfully so, to be fair. And I was very impressed with his size that I saw last year. I think by their own admittance, it probably took them a couple of games to get used to this level. But they've only lost once this season. They're second for a reason. They're a good side. They've got good players. They've got players at the front end of the pitch that score goals. They've got an excellent goalkeeper. So they're going to produce a real tough test for us this week. And like I say to our players every single week, unfortunately this year there's no real gimmies. I've said it loads of times this season. There's not a side you look at and think, well, they're the whipping boys. So this will be a real tough one for us, and it's one that we've got to look at. We've got a real tough couple of months coming up now, which will really test to see where we're at, and that's why I'm being very proactive at the moment in making sure that we've got good players coming in. And obviously when we get everybody back, then it comes back to the selection headache again. You're sitting there and you're having to leave good people out. But what we do know with Stotfold, as I said, is they're a robust side. They don't take any blastings from anybody. They pick points up. They've got an ability to win ugly when required. And like I said, they've got goals in their team, and it's going to be a good test for us, and one that I'm certainly looking forward to. I think when you look at the league this week, I think that's one of the ties of the weekend, and again we're very much looking forward to. So back on home turf, which is good for us, and the most important thing for us is however we get it, I don't really care. The most important thing is we get the 3 points, and we do know with the weather changing now that the winds are picking up, the pitches are getting wetter, so hopefully the weather's a little bit better and kinder to us over the next 24 hours, so we haven't got to miss another game. So fingers crossed. I'm sure we'll have another excellent crowd this week, and an opportunity for us, as I said, to get 3 points and start climbing the table. So yeah, step 6 side, Moulton in the cup on Tuesday. Like any game, whether it's a cup game, whether it's a league game, I want to win it, and we want to progress in this competition. So there won't be none of this squad rotation. I know we've got the Vars on the Friday night against Enfield, but we're not going to be rotating the squad massively throughout that process. We want to make sure that we give ourselves the best possible chance to win. And like I've said time and time again, and like it's been personified on several occasions, the gap between 6 and 5 for me is absolutely minuscule. I think Stotfold have shown that this season, with the way that they've come up and they're challenging right up the top. And like I said, Stotfold I'd expect to be up thereabouts at the end of the season. I see them being big challenges for us and other teams in the league. And if you look at Moulton, that's no different. They've obviously given some teams a right hammering this year. But like anything, there's some good sides in that division. So it's a cup competition, it's home turf, it's home soil. We want to make sure that we pick up the win. That's the most important thing. Like I keep saying to people, this mythical right way of playing, whether it's, I don't care if it's an ugly game and we go through 1-0, to be honest. It doesn't faze me in the slightest. The most important thing is we win. So looking forward to it. As I said, hopefully, I know it's a Tuesday night. We're backed by another good crowd and ready, obviously a good opportunity for us to put on a good performance, ready for what's going to be a really, really tough game a week on Friday.